Last Epoch dropped a new developer update on their faction system. Let's check it out and how it is going to stand up to the competition. Let's look at the video.
Greetings, travelers. I'm Judd Kobler, founder of 11th Hour Games and game director for Last Epoch. Today, we will be discussing the highly anticipated item faction system coming to the full release of Last Epoch on February 21st. We're very excited to release this innovative new way for players to participate in the deep and rewarding item hunt that Last Epoch offers in the way that they like to play. By joining the Merchants Guild, you will be able to buy, sell, and trade items through the
So the Merchant Guild here, it looks like if you join the Merchant Guild faction, that's what's going to give you the access to the auction house, which is going to allow you to trade with players and also sell to players. So keep that in mind.
Bustling Bazaar. Or, if you choose to join the Circle of Fortune, you'll set your sights to the stars and be able to bolster your item acquisition through prophecies and increased item drop rates. This system is the result of many years of debating what the ideal
So it looks like the prophecy system is going to be used for your solo self-found, so you want to get better drops. You're going to use these prophecies, which will each have different points you can select for favor to get rewards of certain types. Like here, look at Death of a Fire Lich Cremoris. Your condition is you gotta do the Soulfire Bastion dungeon, and when you complete it, you're gonna get 9 rare armor. So that's pretty neat how it's gonna work. There's probably gonna be a lot more stuff that you can do with
RPG. Tons of collaboration with our amazing community, and many sleepless nights of game design meetings with our game design team. We found through extensive polling that players of action RPGs are split nearly down the middle when it comes to those who want their experience to heavily involve trade and an economy, and those who want to focus on finding items themselves.
It's gonna probably be fairly split down the middle.
We believe that through the item faction system, we will deliver a tailored and exciting path to hunt for top-tier items for both camps of players. In Last Epoch 1.0, you will join a faction once you reach the great mercantile city of Majelka. When you select to join the Merchants Guild or the Circle of Fortune, a new interface will become available that will let you access details about your current status with your faction, known as reputation, how much favor you currently have, and
so as you get reputation, it looks like it's going to unlock more features here for you. So you aren't going to be able to, like for example, in the Merchants Guild here, you're not going to be able to trade everything right away. As you get more reputation with each of these guilds, it's going to open up what you can and can't do the further you get into the actual levels of the factions there.
What benefits your faction is currently providing you. Let's talk about these briefly. Reputation within a faction is a core part of how the faction is going to be benefiting you on your journey. As a representative of that faction, you will continue to increase your reputation by killing enemies and completing quests.
So as you just play the game, you get
Guild, this includes
more reputation with each of those
and
guilds.
Completing trades at your current level. And for the Circle of Fortune, this means completing prophecies that will divine certain items after fulfilling the
Look at that. You get, as you get more and more of these prophecies, you're going to be able to unlock more types of prophecies that you can complete, and completing those prophecies is going to earn you sweet rewards, which is super cool.
Through earning reputation, you will ascend ranks within your faction, earning you unique benefits and options. Once you have earned reputation within a faction, that reputation stays with your account in that game mode. This means if you rank up a cycle character, all of your other cycle characters will have that rank when they join the same faction and contribute to that faction's reputation gain.
So basically, cycles are their seasons, and what they're saying is the faction's reputation is shared account-wide across your characters. So as you build up that reputation, you're going to be able to just go hop in, and whatever faction you choose, whatever rank, whatever reputation you have with those particular factions will carry over, and then any additional reputation you gain in that faction is still going to be shared across your cycle, or as you may know it, seasonal league, depending on what game you're coming from. Characters all have.
You may switch factions and earn and maintain reputation with them with no penalty to your earned reputation with the other.
So you can flip-flop, which is nice.
There are currently 10 ranks to achieve in each faction, with the later ranks requiring quite a bit of commitment in order to obtain. So, while you have the freedom to change your faction at any time, You will want to pick a faction and stick with it to reach the most powerful benefits that they have to
Yeah.
offer. It is important to note that you can only be a member of one faction at any given time per character, and
Yeah, makes
items
sense.
earned with the benefits from those factions will require that you are aligned with them in order to use them.
So what that means here is, so say you're playing your merchant trader, the item is going to have a merchant trader rank associated with it. So that means you'd have to be that particular rank in the merchant guild to actually use that item. And then the same would be, because you're not going to be able to trade the items that have the ranks for the solo self-found guild there, the Circle of Fortune, because it doesn't have a trader rank. So you're only going to be able to trade items you get while you're a part of the trader faction and merchant faction, and you're only going to be able to and you can't trade the Circle of Fortune items you find while you're playing the game here.
So most players will want to stick to a faction that rewards their preferred playstyle. Next, let's talk about favor. Favor is the currency you will earn while slaying enemies or completing quests for each of the factions. Favor is separate from reputation.
So it looks like favor is just the secondary currency you'll earn, and you'll have separate for each of your different factions, and it's almost like an additional cost. So like this person they're showing listing an item. It also costs that favor to list an item. So you need to earn, and you'll just earn that through doing faction quests and playing the game, and that'll allow you to trade more items and so on and so forth. So I think it's a pretty
This currency can
straightforward
be
system.
used to either complete trades with the Merchant's Guild or acquire new prophecies from the Circle of Fortune. And if you find yourself with excess favor, you can always spin the wheel with the faction gambler.
And you get a gambler,
Item
so
gifting
if you
to
have
party
excess,
members has
that's
been
pretty
in the game
sweet.
for a while now, and it isn't going anywhere. However, it's important to note that once you have joined a faction, items will start being tagged with the faction you were part of when they dropped. This means that while questing, if you are a member of the Merchant's Guild, and an item drops for you, that item will still be shareable with anyone who is in the party, like always, and be available to be sold, provided that you meet the rank requirements in the Merchant's Guild Bazaar. Just be sure that the person you are trading it to also meets the same faction requirements.
So basically, like I was saying before, the faction requirements, so this is really nice with group play because you can trade items with one another, but they still have to meet the certain faction requirements for those items prior to receiving them, which is perfectly reasonable because, like, say you find the item in the Circle of Fortune, if they're playing only, say, the merchant faction, and they have no faction points in the Circle of Fortune, if you try and trade them one that has a requirement of Circle of Fortune 5, they're not going to be able to use that item or receive it by the sounds of it, which I think makes sense. But if you had a trade faction one and you trade it to a person on your team and they're the same rank or higher, they're going to be able to receive or use that item that you've got during that drop. And same goes for the Circle of Fortune.
The last use case we wanted to solve for are friends who choose to play together and just want their own little trade group, which brings us to resonances, which are a new type of item that can be found when you are questing with your friends or party members. This item can be used to enable an item to be gifted specifically to the player that you have a resonance with,
Nice.
even if they weren't there when the item dropped.
So these resonances are going to allow it when you're playing in a group. You'll earn resonance that you can use for the people that are in your group. And that way, as they're about to go on here, is basically once you have that resonance, if you get an item later down the road and you're not partied with them, you're going to be able to use this resonance.
We know a lot of times players will play with their friends,
trade it
and
to
then
your
later
friend.
You'll be soloing a piece of content, and the perfect item drops for your buddy. Well, thanks to the new resonance system, you will be able to give them that perfect item the next time you see them. As those of you who love loot-based action RPGs know, trade and economy is a very complex and divisive issue to solve for when catering to a large player base and different playstyles, while keeping the item acquisition hunt feeling great. We can't wait to get your feedback on the system that we
I think this is looking really, really great so far.
Continued input and passion for helping make Last Epoch the next great action RPG. There is so much more to explore with the item faction system, so check out the deeper dive we have on our forums, and we look forward to seeing you in Last Epoch February 21st.
Put it in your calendars, folks. Definitely looking forward to this. So that's how the trade faction's looking in Last Epoch right now. Won't really get to see it in effect until its launch on February 21st. So I think it looks very promising. And if everything works out as planned with it, I think Diablo and Path of Exile could probably take from this system and implement it into their games, at least in Path of Exile 2. But let me know what you think of this faction system for the trading solo self-found and party trading in Last Epoch. If you want to see some Last Epoch gameplay, you can check out our Last Epoch stream playlist that's popping up here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and let me know your thoughts on the Last Epoch update. And we'll be there on February 21st. So have a good one, everyone.